guys. So we got to the end of chapter 2. And we're about to write another CER, claim, evidence, reason. So I want to go through some analyzing of some of the new data at Galetown to try to help us answer the question for chapter 2, which focuses on the temperature of the water. So if you turn to page 55 in your workbooks, one of the claims that it's used to explain the severe rainstorms in Galetown is this: warmer weather caused Galetown to have more severe storms. Do you think that higher temperature is affecting the amount of rain? And explain your answer. So this is claim 2. And the note from Dr. Kenji Emerson says, we've gathered data about the air temperature before the storm started in Galetown and added it to the data table. Look carefully at storms 2 and 3, which are highlighted in yellow. We think that the temperature difference could be an important factor to help explain the severe storms in Galetown. So again, we're still in chapter 2, which is focusing on the temperature. If you need a minute to press pause to answer the question before we start our next activity. Okay, welcome back. So, I've taken out the 2 storms that we're referring to, which is storm 2 and 3. And why does storm 2 have a moderate amount of rain while storm 3 had severe rainfall? And let's take a look at what's different. So the amount of rain goes from 12.7 centimeters to 20 centimeters, which is about 75% more. And then let's look at the temperature before the storm. We have warm and hot. We noticed that when it was hotter, we had a more severe storm. We've seen a pattern of certain conditions that lead to more rain. For this routine, like for the next activity, I want you guys to use the vocabulary words to discuss what's happening. The data that you're examining shows that storm 2 in Galetown had an average of 12.7 centimeters of rainfall, but the storm after that, they experienced 20.3 centimeters. So I want you guys to use the word relationship activity where you use multiple words in a sentence to try to explain what's going on. So the words that I want you to use are air parcel, energy, temperature, transfer, troposphere, water vapor. Now these are also going to be included in the list of words that you're going to use in your CER to explain why the amount of rain in Galetown is different from storm to storm. So an example of this would be warmer temperature will cause the air parcel. So we have warmer temperature, which is right here, will cause the air parcel to rise higher in the troposphere. And storm 3 had warmer temperature than storm 2. So my explanation is showing that when it rises more higher in the troposphere, it cools more. And if it cools more, it has more rain, more liquid water. So it's going to produce more rain. So I'm going to use try to create as many sentences, because this is going to help you write your CER to try to help explain why warmer weather can cause different amounts of rain in a storm. Press pause so you can write down a few sentences on page 56. And when you're done, turn to page 57 in your workbook. Okay, so I'm going to model storms 2 and 3 in a diagram, which you also have in your workbook. So for this one, you want to write in that this is storm 2. And we have 2 sections, a before and after. In the before section, we notice that it's set to a medium in the troposphere. The air outside is medium. So meaning that it is warm, not hot. Okay? So warm, not hot. And the water vapor is high and the partial temperature is high. But as we go into the second portion, I'm gonna bring it over to this side here. And we see that even though it's high temperature, the water vapor, it releases itself and goes into this section. It goes into a medium portion of the troposphere. And the temperature is low. And what happens is that there becomes a medium amount of liquid, and the air partial also becomes very low. You're going to see that the energy transfer is going out, but because this is a warm partial, it doesn't go to the highest part of the troposphere. Whereas if we draw it to storm 3, we have a very high temperature because it is hot, very high. So therefore, it's going to go very high in the troposphere. And where the liquid water is high and the temperature is very low. Whereas in the last model, it was low. So the higher it goes in the troposphere, the more liquid water is going to be created, because more of the energy is released and turning more of the water vapor back into liquid. So what happens, again, to recap, it goes, the warmer the air, the more energy it has. The more energy it has, the more it has to release to become equal to the troposphere temperature. And when it's warmer or hotter, it goes higher in the troposphere, meaning that it has to get colder and colder and colder to become equal, releasing more energy. More energy released, more liquid is made, more liquid, more rain. So, but in all areas of science, scientists study systems that go through periods of stability and periods of change. This is just one example of many different systems found in nature. In this case, the system we are talking about consists of the air partial and the surrounding temperature. When the air partial is warmer than the surrounding air, the air partial will rise in the troposphere. As the air partial is rising, it's losing energy, and the temperature of the air partial will continue to change until it is stable with the surrounding temperature. What happens when the air partial starts with a higher temperature? Well, the temperature needs to change more. So it will become stable with the surrounding temperature. So for the assignment today, you're going to write your CER, and you're going to look at trying to figure out what caused the Galetown to have more severe storms. Last chapter, you wrote about Claim 1, and this chapter, we have a lot of evidence for Claim 2. Remember, you can use your sims or your readings to come up with a description of what's going on. And at this point, you might be able to put more than one claim together. You might want to use both Claim 1 and 2 to explain why Galetown has more severe rainstorms. And during the assignment, make sure you use the vocabulary words listed in the assignment. Thanks, guys.